Yeah, that's it. Alright. Well, I didn't plan on the day ending this way, that's for sure. Not sure what the deal is. I've still got that key thing going on. And on top of that, coming off a plane, I pulled back to idle speed. The motor just went blop. I don't know what's going on. I actually had to start the motor in gear because I couldn't get it revved up and going and actually get it in gear before it would stall again. It's got plenty of gas, fuel filter's full. There's gas coming out of the accelerator pump squirters. It's all there. I don't know what's going on. I have no clue. It's almost like somebody was pulling a lanyard or something, and it would just die, and then it'd start right back up, and then die, and then start right back up, die. I'm at my wit's end with this one. I really am. I don't even know what to say anymore, but I gave it a good bath tonight. It needed it. It's been sitting out here for months and it's filthy as hell. It needs a lot of work anyway, but still, I don't like it dirty at least. And I guess we'll come out and play with it tomorrow and see what we can figure out. We'll see. Welcome to another 3 days. I don't know about this old girl. Had to do some stuff off camera. I just, you know, how many times can I repeat the same actions over and over again? Went over everything possible that I could go over that would be pertaining to these issues that I've been having in the last trip. And now that you can hear me, as I was saying, I'm in a dilemma here. I've done a number of things, and I mean a number of things. I've been everywhere through wiring and through the starter, and I rebuilt the carburetor with pretty much everything that was left over from this boat, and the Endobrock kit that came, and everything else that I have stashed away. I have a whole drawer full of rebuild kits from everywhere, from Holly to Endobrocks. Got a lot of Holly stuff. If you seem to leave them sit out for a winter, the bowls tend to leak, so you end up buying another gasket set to redo the bowls again, and then you just keep piling them up as you go. So this is where I am. I mean, I've done a lot of things. I just couldn't put my finger on any one thing as being what was the cause and what was the issues. I knew it had to be fuel related. Not really sure. Just didn't seem like the boat lost any power. You know, I mean, when it's doing 3,200 RPMs, I was going as fast as I normally would. When not like, something was changing and it was spinning or sputtering, it just came to a stop. It went like I was in mud. It's the exact example I can give you. It's like I was in mud. I just kind of stopped and I thought, oh, I got up on the sandbar or something. I must have shifted around last winter. And so I got out of there, gave it a little gas, and went ahead. And I thought I was, 50 yards away from where I was. It should have been plenty of water. I slowed down again, and it went bleh, and just died. I was like, oh my God, what the hell? So, and then it started right back up, But as soon as I put it back, the shifter over there, back into neutral, to shift it into gear, it died. Just went blah, and just died along, like I was just, the throttle linkage was just pushing way too low, and the idle was set way too low or something like that. So that got me thinking maybe it was a linkage issue, and then I thought maybe it's a vacuum issue, but there's only one vacuum port on this whole thing, and that's the PCV. So I'm not sure what was going on, but as I said, I did a lot of things. I come to a lot of realizations with this boat. I need to do a lot of work to it, and it's really what it is. And having this boat over here, everything on this boat's pretty much new, and if it's not new, it's been reconditioned. Everything on this boat is 20 plus years old, and if it's not, it's 40 or 50 years old. So, and a lot of it's been reconditioned, but you know, like I said before, I did the wiring out of Home Depot. This one has a Mercruiser wiring harness. It has a couple extra lines, you know, all marine, all that good stuff. And most of mine is kind of the same way. Like, none of the wiring for the lights or anything like that, or you know, they're perfectly fine, 12 volts for what's running through them. It's just, like I said, I don't have any color coordinations, and a lot of stuff is duplicate. When I built the dashboard, I made every ground come back to a ground back here. There's been many changes with this boat over the last 20 years also. I mean, it started off with a certain dashboard, and then it went to another dashboard and to another one, and they all had different things. I don't know. Like I said, I need to get this one finished, and then I need to get on to a couple other projects. Like I said, I want to get my intakes done on the race boat here in the next couple weeks, most definitely. And I would love for the BZ to sit in the driveway and get some paint issues fixed. And I would love for this to sit in the driveway for a couple weeks and just, I don't know, pull the panel off, the upholstery panel on this side, and just rip all the wiring out that's not necessary and start over a new harness. But that'll be another day. So I guess we'll be putting the fiberglass Freedom machine away for the evening. On borrowed time as it is. The sun just peeked out for a few minutes, but I know there's clouds right behind it, and they're coming in with heavy storms all day and tomorrow. So I'm not sure when we're going to get to the boat ramp, but we are going to get to the boat ramp and figure out if that was it. And if not, there may be some more things we have to chase, but they're piling up enough to where I'm starting to think that maybe I should just bite the bullet and maybe do some major things. Surprise, we got word that the rain wasn't going to move in for another hour, which it's about here now. It's starting to sprinkle a little bit. So I went ahead and did an oil change. Didn't like the way the oil smelled. You know, you got a carburetor issue. It's not a good thing to keep running the same oil. Got about 7.5 quarts replaced. And one of those little vacuum pump things, that's not so bad for an 8-quart oil pan. But we're done for the evening again, and we'll see you tomorrow. Welcome to another day. Just doing my daily routine here. So I had to bail this top out. I don't know what's up with the John Boat top. It just, in that one corner, I don't care if I brace it up, if I put things underneath of it, somehow it always ends up sagging there. I think it was because during the winter time it got a little heavy with some ice and snow, and I couldn't peel the ice and snow out of it because it was frozen to the top, and it kind of congregated right in that corner and kind of put a little stretch on the top. BZ's doing excellent. Of course, it always does. And the race boat has a tendency to get them up underneath of these edges. I don't even know where it comes from, to be honest. It's like it almost comes back and goes around and up. But that's about the only place it does. The top I get from Classic Accessories for this boat, they really hold up well. I mean, they really do. There's like absolutely no water inside the boat from even like a hellacious storm. And of course, my 19's covered with pine needles from the pine tree that supposedly protects it from other things, but got to get the pine needles off of it. If not, the pine sap will soak through the top, in which case it'll start staining the white paint that's underneath of it. And then of course we have this guy's top. Oh, it leaves something to be desired, that's for sure. I thought it was the same top as my 19s, but it apparently is not. Or at least the quality control on it was not as good, that's for sure, because all the seams seem to leak. Yeah, seams that seem to leak. Lucky enough we haven't had any upholstery or anything in it, so for the last, I don't know, however long that top's been on, but we definitely not the biggest fan, and we're probably going to have to buy another one before it rips, which is, that in my world sucks, because I try to get as much as I can out of them, but I can't really have it leaking all over the upholstery when it's installed. But we'll just have to deal with that as it comes. Today we have a whole new adventure, and our secret ingredient is...
But there is one more ingredient to this battle. Our secret ingredient. Stay out of my tunnel!
Outdrive! Yeah, I think it's time we actually get this thing out of the garage and on the boat. And if you haven't noticed, there's some pieces of upholstery back there. I'm going to start toting them up from the basement one at a time as I come.
Stay still, just chill, don't move, there's a thrill. It just don't take a second for we, and don't vibe, it's cool, no cue, no rules. Just looking back to see you looking at me. Your wrists tied, your legs splayed, your sweat slides, your no shame, your back arched, your eyes wide. And as you push up close against me, seconds of shiver down my spine will say, I want you and I want you to take control of me. There's nothing I won't let you do, be my fantasy.
And there we go. Yeah, it took a couple of hours. I know. I had that one off in 12 minutes. No lie. 12 minutes, and it was sitting in my garage. It was the middle of December, but had a little bit of incentive to do it that fast. But everything was already done. It's been on and off that boat many times, or at least that setup has been. So meaning that all the little brass fittings that changes the gears and everything, they're already done. And I probably spent 45 minutes searching through my box of extra, I don't even know what they call it, toggle kind of whatever brass pieces that go with the throttles and linkages and such like that, and found just the right one. But of course it didn't want to thread up properly, so I basically had to re-thread it, and then I had to find the right size washer, because a real standard thickness washer wouldn't, that was too much. Had to find a thinner washer, like these kind of stainless steels that are on the side of here. They're real thin, and you know, it just eats up a lot of time. And then I noticed, of course, which I very well figured, that when I put the Outdrive up, it kind of skipped a few times, meaning it had some air in it, like that kind of thing. So I figure at some point it'll be sitting on the ground. It's just got some air to push out, and it'll take a little time. I thought for the longest time that, you know, mine was broken over here, because I installed it and I didn't get to the boat ramp, and like every morning I came out for like 3 or 4 days, it was sitting on the ground. I was like, oh no. As you can see, it's been working with the same trim pump ever since, so we're all good. As long as I go up and do some inspection now and not find fluid all over the place, we'll be good. Next though, being it's 100 degrees out, which helped out a lot with those bellows. They usually get really stiff, like you try to do it in the middle of fall or winter. They stretched out like nothing, and which is a good thing too, because they even sent the wrong size hose clamp for the big one. I have a whole drawer full of them, so we were just lucky. But yeah, I would have been a little miffed if I was like depending on that hose clamp to work, because I wasn't taking one off, so I didn't even have an existing hose clamp. This was all new construction. with it being 100 degrees out, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give this thing a nice bath. It hasn't had one probably since it was painted. You know, hey, what are we bathing it for when we're going to chop up motor mounts? But I need to get it cleaned up. Yeah, it's starting to look like a boat now, that's for sure. With the Outdrive on the back, it kind of finishes up the transom, and that's a good thing. In our world, that's a real good thing. We spent a lot of time just scrubbing and cleaning and scrubbing. I mean, this thing hasn't been washed in months. And we redid the motor mounts. We've done all kinds of things in here, and it's just kind of gathered up a bunch of dust and what have you, blood. So yeah, it needed a good scrubbing. I mean, it's not clean by a long shot by my standards, but it's got everything off of it that was pretty much on it from the winter time, and a whole lot of fiberglass dust and such out of it. I'm having a minor issue though. I watched the Outdrive drop a couple times. I figured it would. I mean, like I said, as it was going up, I could hear it go like that, you know. So I knew the trim pump was still bleeding a little air, especially since we only put it up once or twice when we installed it. Now, it dropped the last time, and that was about 2 hours ago, about an inch. And I put it back up, and I was thinking to myself, you know, it must be like right at the end of the lines there that it still has a little air in it. So I was thinking, drop it down a little bit, bring it up, drop it down, bring it up. Well, I went to go hit the down switch, or the down wire, because that's all I've got at the moment. And I can feel the current, because my fingers were wet, I could feel the current hit the wire, but nothing happened. I don't know. I'm going to have to go up underneath the dash and take a look here. I was trying to let everything dry out. And the reality is I'm pretty much probably going to just let everything dry out and finish it for the day. And that'll be like the first thing I look at tomorrow. Okay, so that one's separate. This one's good. Yeah, alright, I got this. The bottom solenoid's bad. Hey, welcome to another day. I'm just sitting down here looking over my little trim pump here. As I said, it seems to be working. I jumped it yesterday to see if I could get it to go down, whether it was the motor or whether it was something else. And of course it was something else. It was the solenoid, as far as I can tell. It kind of clicks, but it doesn't engage the power, because as I said, I jumped the lead yesterday and it went right on down. So I guess I need to get a new solenoid. But I was in the process of looking at them earlier, and I have to find out whether it's a flat one or a raised one, or, yeah, of course it all makes a little bit of difference. But I've got what I need here now. My legs are on fire at the moment because it is smoking hot out. And at some point today, I'd like to get out here and maybe do something with this dashboard and some other parts of this boat to make them look a lot more user-friendlier. pretty happy that out here in 100-degree weather, the Outdrive did not drop an inch. I mean, it stayed exactly where it was last night. So maybe the air is at least out of the up lines. And when we get a new solenoid, we'll worry about the down lines. Great. I was hoping all day long that the sun would go behind a cloud or a tree or something. And now that it's a little past 8, it decided to, and in the process made everything go dark. Alright, we got our bench seat, I guess it is, motor box seat in. Looks pretty good. Need a little sitting on, a little pushing around, it'll be fine. I like the fact that it's a little thinner than mine's in my boat. It covers up a lot of these vents. In this case, they won't be covering up much of them at all. So that turned out pretty nice. We got bolster 1 in, we got the dashboard in, then we got bolster number 2 in. Now they're pretty tight at the moment, but when it comes to these guys, they need to twist a little bit and turn and do a little thing here and there. So we're going to leave it like it is overnight, and then we'll probably have to come back tomorrow and give all the bolts another turn. It was a little more involved than I thought it was going to be. I had to take out that light there so I could reach back here because of the way the wire hanger that was built into the boat was still there. The only way you can reach up in there is to get rid of that light and its mounting plate. But overall, I like the way it looks. It's turning out nice. We also, since our cables kind of came up here a little bit to pick up a little bit of the slack, I don't like it all pushed up in the back. And you need extra cables so you can get it on the Outdrive, and you know, just trust me, I got 1 foot lower each one of them and had to replace them because they were just too short. So to pick up that extra bit, I just did a lazy loop up here in this bolster, and I took some of this, I guess it's pipe guard or pipe insulation, and just put one little band around it about 6-8 inches long. That way it's sitting up here right now, so the cables come up, go across and through it, and then down, so they won't bang 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 inside the bolster anytime. We still got to put our shifter knob on and hook up all the trim, and as I said, we still got to get our rear seats in and our front seats. We don't have any front seats yet either. That's about all I'm going to get done tonight. I probably am going to have to adjust my bar here because now the dashboard's in place. It used to sit right on the edge, now it's going to have to sit a little cocked. So I need to get that done before I either get eaten alive by mosquitoes or it gets too dark to do anything. So we'll see you tomorrow.
I said you had enough? Hell no. Oh, have you had enough? Hell no. Now have you had enough? Hell no. Oh yeah.
There's gas coming out of the what the hell was I calling it? So I guess we'll be putting a fiberglass free. So that doesn't work. None of this works. Oh, now the battery's gonna die. And let's move on to today's adventure. On a side note, I don't think I got any of that. Glamour shots.